Hello and welcome to another episode of It Was Mooney, your source for all things movie, streaming, and pop culture related. I'm your host, Coasty, and I'm joined always by Wani B. What's up, brother? And today we're joined in the studio again by special guest. What's up, Eric?
What up, man?
Thanks for joining us.
Dude, absolutely.
Yeah, man. And, as you guys can see now, we've actually parted ways with Maurice, the live studio ostrich.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, he
gave you nothing but love.
Nothing but love.
He abandoned us for greener pastures.
Yeah, we took him to the rice paddy. So, Maurice, wherever you are.
It doesn't really sound like he abandoned you then. It just sounds like you just took him somewhere and left him.
Well, he kind of wanted to leave, if that makes sense.
We'll just cut that
It's
part,
one of those,
yeah.
if you ever watch, what was it, Harry and the Hendersons?
Yes. Yeah, a little bit of Harry. Yeah, remember at the end?
Except he did it to us.
Yeah, he threw rocks at us and told us to go away and run and never see him
Can't
again.
you see we don't want you anymore? But he really meant it. He actually did not want us anymore.
Yeah, so we've parted ways with our live studio ostrich, but no fear, listeners, we have something in the works that we think you guys would love. But anyway, Juan, what do we have on tap for today's show?
So, Kosi, today we start off with the good old, let's get some old trailer trash going.
Yeehaw.
Incorporated into that trailer trash, we have the couple of basically going hardcore with the superhero comic book stuff.
Yeah, Comic-Con was this past weekend.
Comic-Con was this past weekend. We're going to go into a deep dive on Comic-Con.
It's the one in LA, right?
No, it's San Diego.
San Diego.
Yeah,
That's
We're
like
gonna
the one that
take a
matters
look.
every year.
yeah.
But first, we'll look at the trailers for Creature Commandos and Captain America Brave New World. But heavy focus on superhero and comic book stuff for this trailer trash. And then once we finish with that, we introducing a new segment. Kosi, why don't you give us the name? Give the viewers a little bit of a sneak peek.
Yeah, so coming to you guys at the end of this episode, we're introducing a new segment called Dirty Little Cinema, where we talk about movies that we love, but we know that the world hates. So like it'll be us kind of sort of like to bring out maybe that weird obscure movie that we like, but we know people find weird, or a movie that kind of sucks universally panned, but like we happen to love it and can't get enough of it. So it's us kind of talking about it. Yeah,
guilty pleasure movies.
Guilty pleasure. So that's what that
Dirty Little Cinema is not porn related or adjacent. I just want to be absolutely clear on that.
Look, the focus group told us that early on.
This is what America wants, guys.
Yes.
This is not a rated X show. I
Look,
just want to make sure.
If it makes it on there, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm excited to bring out this new segment. But I guess what we got first, Juan.
So we're going into some trailer trash. All right. So starting off, big again, as I mentioned, big focus on comic books. We're starting off with Creature Commandos' new DC show.
Yep.
So basic premise of the trailer, it kind of looks like literally animated Suicide Squad. It even has Weasel and Amanda Waller to let you know that the characters aren't entirely unrelated.
And it has a flag, but like it's actually the
A flag?
Yeah, so
It's not
he's
the Rick Flag.
No, so he is actually
A different person of the flag family.
Yes, so he's the
Okay, I
It's
thought
a
you meant
person.
A flag.
It's
I was
a
like, bro,
person.
I don't care if there's a flag in the show. What does that mean?
It's Rick Flag Sr. He's the father of Rick Flag that we saw in the Suicide Squad with James Gunn.
Yes, he's very dead.
Yeah, the very dead one. Yes.
So from my understanding, it's the same continuity as Suicide Squad.
Yes.
Okay, it does have, again, some of the same characters. Amanda Waller has gotten around. She's in that new Superman show, My Adventures with Superman.
Yeah.
Obviously, in both the Suicide Squad movies. Seems to be one of the few characters from the old DC EU universe that's going into the new DC U universe with James Gunn.
Very from Marvel. What's his name? What's his name?
J. Jonah Jameson.
Not J. Jonah Jameson. That too, but he's the leader of the Avengers. Sam Jackson's
Sam
character.
Jackson. Yes, Amanda
Yeah.
Waller's kind of. I just meant like it crossing over from
Yeah.
different.
I see.
From different universes, so to speak.
Gotcha.
J. Jonah was the only character from the old school Marvel movies from Sony.
I feel like Hugh Jackman kind of did the same translation.
Hugh Jackman has, now that he's in this new Deadpool movie.
The new age
Right.
Marvels.
So he's officially in the MCU. Before that, he hadn't been, though. Before that, it had always been a one continuous universe. Even Wolverine, technically, I think, had continuity
Logan helped, but I don't think it really.
Well, really, it was Days of Future Past in 2014 that like kind of reset and put that timeline in place for Logan to happen. But yeah, Fox had a historically horrible kind of set of timeline issues that got fixed with that movie.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so Creature Commandos, going into it more, it's basically odd ensemble cast put together by Amanda Waller to fight the bad guys who are even worse than they are. Very heavy Suicide Squad vibes.
Yeah.
You got some interesting characters. You got Frankenstein and his wife.
Yeah, Frankenstein by David Harbour, who's also in the Marvel universe as Red Guardian.
That's good.
Yeah, Alan Tudyk, he's Dr. Phosphorus. Viola Davis, obviously, is Amanda Waller. Sean Gunn is G.I. Robot. Frank Grillo is Rick Flag Sr. Maria Bakalova, she was she was the dog in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Yeah,
Okay.
so she's in
Laika
this.
or something.
Yeah. So it's a stat cast. Like,
Yeah, it's a pretty solid cast.
Yeah.
Looks like it could be fun. I don't think we got a lot of details as to
not really.
what they're going to get into. It just seems really like it's a Suicide Squad, but animated in a TV show instead of a movie.
Yeah, it looks
Does that seem
promising.
like a fair description?
Yeah. I'm not sure when I think they said it's coming out in October of this year. No, I'm sorry, in December of this year.
December, so not too far from now.
Not too far away.
It looks like it could be fun.
Yeah.
It looks like it could be fun. I don't know if it's a must-watch, but if you've been enjoying... DC has had a strong track record with animated
Great
stuff.
in animation.
Yeah.
Their DC animation has had a very strong record. I think this is technically part of the actual DCU versus the DC animated universe always kind of being its own thing. But still something to look out for.
Yeah, you're
still
definitely right.
something to get a little bit hyped for. So second movie on our list, Captain America, Brave New World.
Brave New World. It had a lot of title changes, but this is the most recent.
Yes, this is the new one.
What was it supposed to be?
It was New World Order was the first one.
World Order is kind of more of a conspiracy vibe.
Yeah, which I think this one kind of it's kind of in that whole.
Do you know what they're trying to set up for as far as this Captain America goes?
Well, really,
I'm not even sure if at this point Marvel is setting up stuff.
Yeah, I think they're trying. Well, definitely they're trying to establish him as the new Captain America. We can see from the trailer.
Dude, the wings and the shield, man. That's,
yeah.
that's all I wanted in this movie.
I guess, like off top, like what y'all think of the teaser trailer for this?
I thought it looked great. So I feel like I have a different view from you two specifically because I like Marvel movies, but they're not like
Must watch.
I didn't really care about Marvel before this, and like I don't really care about Captain America that much, or like Iron Man's cool, but I don't really care to like know more about his backstory.
Right.
Granted, I say this with Winter Soldier being, I think, my favorite Marvel movie.
It's one of the best ones.
It's my favorite one, and
Excellent.
because I always thought Captain America was super hokey. My dad liked him, but it was just like in the comics, he was just like gung ho America. It looked kind of novelty.
I think what they did with Winter Soldier specifically, like kind of the Russo brothers, like kind of reinvented what Cap is. They kind of brought him to the modern age and kind of put him in that whole. It was that misinformation age, like who can we trust? Like who can we trust? It was that Edward Snowden era where they really worked well in the Winter Soldier story. So like that was where they really were able to.
Bourne era.
Yeah, they were really reinvent that character, and it started with Winter Soldier. So
as someone who really grew up thinking Captain America was just a novelty joke superhero, I feel like they've come so far in that specific dude. This, I mean, even with this new one, like. I don't know. I'm gonna watch it. It looks cool. I like Harrison Ford.
Ford's
just being grumpy, just being grumpy and old.
Recast from
William Hurt. He was the original
William Hurt.
Thunderbolt Ross.
RDJ.
Brother. Yeah, it's William Hurt. Yeah.
The guy who was, if you watch Civil War, he was kind of the U.S. guy in charge.
Oh,
and also,
okay.
In the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton, he was
the
Thunderbolt.
With the mustache?
Yeah, mustache.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's who it is. That's
I know who you're talking about.
So he's Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah. So so obviously Harrison Ford has a little bit more personality. Obviously they put him more front and center.
Much bigger name. Yeah.
A much bigger name. Anthony Mackie's still kind of finding his way a little bit as Captain America.
Yeah, he's coming off of Falcon Winter Soldier.
How was that show?
I thought it was just all right.
Yeah.
I thought it was just okay. I wanted more out of it, but I did love, though, Bucky and Sam together, and also Sam's family, all that, with also Isaiah Bradley, who's in this movie. Like, all that stuff, but, like, overall...
Also,
kind of
Captain Zemo, or...
Yeah, Baron Zemo's great.
Zemo.
I also like the Flag Smashers, that whole thing, but I think all together as a series, I
the Flag
wanted more
Smashers
out of
were
it.
a kind of interesting idea, but they
Yeah.
had such low charisma.
Yeah, it just didn't really...
I honestly forgot who they were. Until...
it wasn't effective, but yeah. So coming into this one, I think we're trying to just establish himself as the, again, in the trailer you said, hey, I'm not Steve Rogers, and they're right, you're not, dude. You caught me off guard. I was like,
We know what he's saying, man.
right? Hey, we know what he's saying. Harrison Ford, hey, Thunderbolt Ross, we know what you mean by he's not Steve
exactly
Rogers.
what he's saying.
You're not white.
Yeah, and
Just remember, you're black.
And I love how Sam, he's like, yeah, I know, I'm not. And, he's right, because, he's trying to do a different path.
He's a different captain.
Race?
He's a different captain. This is a new
Captain,
captain.
sorry, yes.
He's
Yeah.
a more socially conscious Captain America.
Yes, yeah.
Man, I kind of always liked Falcon, though.
Falcon was great.
Falcon's cool.
And it's great that, he started
Captain
off as
Falcon America.
Captain Falcon America.
That's what they should be calling this guy, Captain Falcon.
He started off as a guy that, would just, jog around DC, and then Cap would just, lap him. And now he's, on your left, coming through the portal. The whole progression,
Yeah.
and then at the end, to get the shield, to get his seal of approval, was a great opportunity and a great move. And just coming into this movie, I just like that they're going in this route of not only establishing him, but also establishing the fact that there's adamantium. Is what they revealed in this. So kind of getting into what we'll talk about a little bit in Comic-Con
I like
with the Tiamat, that body. It was really cool to
It's
see.
pretty
that.
wild. So they introduced that back in Eternals, which was what?
3 years ago.
Was that
3 years.
post-pandemic?
Yeah, it was 2021. Yeah,
So, wow, that felt more longer.
right.
So 3 years ago,
Been a minute.
movies were barely back in the theaters at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that we had to watch some weird 3D version?
Because the first one didn't work, the projector broke, so they put
No,
us
they
in the other
didn't.
one.
They put the wrong movie on. They put Dune on.
Oh yeah, we're cool, but we're not
Yeah.
here for Doom.
or not. Good movie, but wrong
I
movie.
always wanted to stay.
Right? It's a great movie.
Oh, this is a good. Honestly, it's not a bad movie to keep watching. I should have realized when the Warner Brothers logo came up.
But we didn't care. We love Denis Villeneuve here. So.
No, but so terrible movie, in my opinion. It was
Really, I thought it was good, but not great. That was good, not great. At the end of the day,
You might be just too generous, Cozy. No, I'm kidding, man. I'm not trying to be a dick. But I personally thought it was mediocre as hell.
Yeah.
a lot of unanswered questions at the end too. I
A lot
have
of
to say.
okay, they set up 3 different side characters, only one of which has any confirmation of any kind of follow up.
Not even.
Blade.
Kinda, yeah. I would
That's
say
what I say, kinda.
Yeah, not even. Yeah.
They did
Yeah.
announce something that Blade was in the works, but from what we've heard, it's not even a sure thing at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah. So to come 3 years later with this, Tiamat's body was, I can see how it can tick people off.
You gotta
but,
understand.
yeah.
I'm guessing you didn't watch the movie, right?
No.
Eternals?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so the core concept at the end of the movie, the climax, is that in the center of these worlds of planets, there are these beings called Celestials, which look kind of big, giant-looking things,
Stone-looking creatures.
kind of like Galacticus from the comics. I think Galacticus is a Celestial.
Yeah.
But they're born inside of worlds, and they basically consume the energy of the world. So the end of the Eternals is the Eternals are these kind of superheroes that are built by the Celestials to protect,
Like androids built by the Celestial.
yeah,
Okay.
to protect the egg. The Earth is like an egg for the Celestial, basically.
And these monsters called the Deviants are on Earth, and they're like, hey, we don't want them eating everybody on Earth, so we need these Eternals to fight them.
Got you.
Right.
Okay.
Let's get into a lot of details.
Yeah.
But the point is, at the end of the movie, this Celestial starts to be born, which means it's like an egg cracking. So
Yeah.
it literally starts coming up from the center of the Earth.
Yeah, it's like
earthquakes, everything. But
It's
they managed to
end of the world stuff.
they managed to stop it and kill it and stuff. But he still comes up like you still see his face and like hand
and stuff,
come
yeah.
out from the center of like the earth,
In the Indian Ocean, yeah.
crack the crust and stuff. This was 4 years ago, or what?
3 years
ago. And it hasn't been brought up since, except it's in a throwaway gag
I
in
mean,
the
did the movie
background.
flop though?
In She-Hulk.
The movie did flop. We're talking about world-altering events that just don't get brought
Yeah,
up.
at least
all.
get a mention.
Also, apparently, Thanos' brother was introduced in a post-credit scene
Yeah.
as a potential new character. Again, we just haven't heard from him since.
Yeah.
Thanos' brother. That's not like a minor thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
They
yeah.
just throw it into a random post-credit and just haven't brought it back.
Played by Harry Styles. Star Fox.
Yeah, Harry
That's his
Styles.
name.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Star
It's called
Fox.
Star Fox.
Yeah.
Man.
Wrong Star Fox, right?
Yeah, I think during that era of Marvel, they were kind of like spinning a bunch of plates that just were all wobbling.
Seeing which one would stay up.
And we're seeing that a little bit. Definitely
Yeah.
that year and the next year with Thor: Love and Thunder and all
Yeah,
that. So
I think good things to take away from this trailer. I like that they are basically just like combining the Shield and Falcon. Like instead of just all right, you have the Shield, you're just Captain America. He's just both now.
he's
like,
incorporating it into what he has.
Yeah. I like that. I also don't know who this villain is. I like who he is, but I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
I like
yeah.
the actor, Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah,
Giancarlo,
yeah.
yes, Sidewinder. Also coming a big one coming back from the Incredible Hulk, Tim Blake Nelson. Remember the Incredible Hulk, that guy that got knocked.
Oh,
in
he was
the
supposed to be
head?
the brain dude. What's his
Yeah.
name? The
He's called the leader.
The leader. That's right. That's right.
So he's in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like he's like part of like the collection of villains in this movie. So it's a really cool cast. Comes out next
There's
year.
a Red Hulk.
Yeah, big. Yeah, there's Red Hulk. That will be played by Harrison Ford. That's not a spoiler. That's everywhere. That's all.
What
over.
does the Red Hulk mean?
So in the comics, Thunderbolt Ross underwent like some procedure to get the powers of the Red Hulk. It's a lot of different interpretations of it, but it's because in the comics his daughter Betty dies. And
Liv Tyler?
Yeah. But in the comics, like his daughter dies, and like from those events, he like gets a procedure to become Red Hulk to like fight the world because she dies because of like an event caused by the Hulk and the Avengers. and all
got you.
that.
Okay.
So I think in this one we're gonna kind of follow a little bit of that. So seeing Harrison Ford like Hulk out would be really cool to see.
Pretty cool.
I don't know how Anthony Mackie's gonna fight him.
I wish they kept the guy who had the mustache and then just put the mustache on the Hulk.
Okay.
Can you just imagine Red Hulk with a fucking mustache? Man, that would be great.
No, I do believe when we see Red Hulk, because even in the drawing in the comics, Red Hulk has a mustache, like Thunderbolt's mustache still stays.
I've seen Hulk with a beard before.
Yeah.
Like Green Hulk.
Yes, so Red Hulk has that mustache, kind of like yeah. So you'll definitely
It's
see that.
like a huge Tom Selleck.
Yes,
Just
like
a huge red Tom Selleck.
a big red Tom Selleck. No, like I thought this was a dope trailer.
I did too. I was surprised that again, another really cool movie coming out of the Captain America side that I thought going back was novelty and hokey growing up. So it's cool.
Yeah, but not this one. Yeah, this is February 14th, Valentine's Day of 2025.
Oh man.
Brave New World. Take your date.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
My date will be justice. And America.
My date. Some
How dare you?
American way.
Yeah, man.
I guess. But speaking of Captain America: Brave New World, like Comic-Con happened, so I don't know. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff. Cool stuff. Apparently, just with Hall H, with Marvel. Marvel kind of let a lot of big things drop. We talked about Brave New World, but there's also there was a Thunderbolts teaser. So the Thunderbolts is another movie coming out. And let me make sure I have this down. So so Florence Pugh's character Yelena, remember Black Widow, that movie? Yeah, remember her sister, the blonde one. Yeah. So she's like part of this team called the Thunderbolts, and like they're kind of being on that Creature Commandos Suicide Squad train. They're also a group of anti-heroes brought together to fight a team, but it's Marvel's version, and it looks awesome. So it has. So we have Sebastian Stan. So we have Bucky. He's on this team. We have Ghost. Remember the bad guy from Ant-Man and the Wasp? That black girl that with the can phase through stuff. She's in it.
I remember.
Yeah. John Walker, U.S. agent. So in Captain America and in Falcon Winter Soldier, there is a
like the fake Captain America.
a fake Captain. Yeah. So he has some serum too. So he's on this team. David Harbour Red Guardian. He's on this team. Olga Kurylenko. So she's the Taskmaster from Black Widow.
Okay.
I love Taskmaster, the character.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Didn't really like how they did Taskmaster in the Black Widow version.
It had shades of how they did Deadpool in that first
Great pull.
X-Men Origins movie.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Like they got it, but they didn't
Or
get
it's
it.
Yeah.
there's the characters in there, but they kind of ruined what made the character great.
Got
Yeah.
you. Got you.
In the defense, like, they worked it into the plot of the movie.
Yeah,
but it wasn't satisfying.
It
though.
wasn't really great.
Yeah, it wasn't satisfying. But she's in that movie from 2020. And a big one, the Sentry, Lewis Pullman. So you remember the president from Independence Day?
Oh, yeah, the dad from Casper. That's
Yes.
what I know him from.
So his boy.
Yeah.
So
Has
his
he
son.
Oh.
Yeah.
Has
Okay.
he been?
Top Gun Maverick. He's Bob in Top Gun Maverick.
But has he been in the MCU at all?
Sentry, no. This is his debut. So the Sentry, real quick, he is a Superman like kind of.
Is he Marvel Superman?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
So like he's about basically quick character history. This guy, he has the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns derived from like a special serum, and the guy himself is like kind of like going through it, so he kind of needs a serum to live. So it's kind of a cool like. Kind of a almost allegory to like drug use, but really heavy stuff. But like
So he's a human. He's not an alien.
yeah, he's
Okay.
just
Got
super
you.
powered.
Got
But
you.
he's in this movie. Stephen Yeun apparently at one point was cast as him, but he had to like drop out. So it's a character we haven't seen before in the MCU ever come in there. So like that rounds out the team. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Elaine from Seinfeld, she is playing Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. She is this director of the CIA. I think you would have seen her in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. She was in there. She was in Falcon Winter Soldier. She's like apparently she's the one that bought Avengers Tower. They're speculating based on just footage they showed at Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. We weren't there, but according to the Thunderbolts trailer footage, she's in there. So she's been kind of like playing chess for the past 3 years with like putting herself to have a team like this, and she's like sending them. She's the Amanda Waller of this team.
Yeah.
So yes, Thunderbolts comes out May
comparison.
Yeah, May 2nd of next year. So I know we don't have much from it, but what do y'all think of just like the little y'all know about it?
Could be a fun idea. Marvel's on a cold streak, but the Suicide Squad type idea is a hot one for a reason. It
Yeah.
gives you an excuse to put a bunch of characters in.
The team up trope is hot right now.
Team up trope
Really
is
is.
hot, and team up with villains makes it
Makes it even a little more scandalous,
a little more
a
interesting.
little sexy.
I will shout out though the people that are writing this, that are working on this, worked on the Netflix series Beef.
Oh man, that's so good.
Which is great. The guy by the name of Lee Sung Jin, he
Great
wrote this.
series, y'all.
So it's a great series. Another woman that wrote on this, Joanna Kahlo, she worked on BoJack Horseman. So like so this movie, yes, it's a summer blockbuster action movie, but like I think the people behind it, it's making me really excited about this. So yeah, this comes out May 2nd of 2025.
Nice.
All right, Juan.
No, let's keep it going,
So
Kosi.
go-
I think
So going next to
we
it.
could talk about a Fantastic Four a little bit.
So this one, before we get into the big one, this one I can just go into. The Fantastic Four is a superhero team I love. It's my favorite superhero team in all of Marvel. Some of my favorite characters.
Amen, brother. Amen, brother.
Dr. Doom is like my favorite villain in all fiction. So it was really cool to get some tangibilization, I like to call it, of this movie being made.
you remember when they teased that big four at the beginning of Phase 4?
2020,
Yeah.
Before
4
it
years
even
ago.
started.
Yeah.
So
4
remember
years
that
ago.
big. How are they gonna take this long and give us shit like
I
She-Hulk?
just freak out anytime I see Fantastic Four or anything. I just freak out.
That was COVID, and then right after that we had like a whole writer strike. So like I can understand how like it feels as though
Yeah,
it's
but
been
it
like
felt like
5
they
years.
did never really plan for Fantastic Four to be in Phase 4.
They
Which
definitely
felt like a
shoveled it,
missed
yeah.
opportunity. Am I the only one?
Yeah, no, you're not the only one. That would I would have
Even
sworn
a
that would have
teaser,
been.
even a teaser at the end of whatever Phase 4. What was the last phase? The Marvels?
It was the teaser you're talking about was
What was the last movie in Phase 4?
it was the Marvels.
Wasn't it the Marvels?
Well, which teaser are you talking about?
Or was it Wakanda? No, just like it should have been. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I see. It should have been the one. Okay. I see
Yeah,
what you're
that
saying.
should have teased Fantastic at the very least. And now they're just teasing the movie. It's like, what are y'all doing? And there's still no official X-Men movie.
Yeah, that's one that was kind of left out of the announcements.
Y'all remember that Fantastic Four TV show from the 90s?
Hell yeah.
Oh, the animated one. That was an awesome one. I love that one.
There was also
Where they showed them transforming on the intro song every time.
there was another one in the early 2000s that I watched a lot too.
TV show
Yeah.
for Fantastic Four.
Yeah. You might be able to find it. It's on Disney Plus, but I watched that growing up as well, and that one had a lot of setting up for classic villains.
Was it done in the style of the Spider-Man?
X-Men
show?
Evolution. It was done in the style of X-Men Evolution.
Oh, 'cause I only know of the '94.
Can we also talk about how Fantastic Four had Chris Evans before he was in the MCU?
Yeah, it was like one of Chris Evans, Jessica Alba as Sue Storm, Michael Chiklis as Ben Grimm. I can't even say that guy, Eoin Gruffett. I always mess his name up.
Yeah, he's not like he's been around much.
And freaking Nip Tuck as Doctor Doom, which as a kid I remember I shouldn't have been watching Nip Tuck, but I remember saying, "Oh, it's the guy from Nip Tuck
from Doctor Doom.
World's Greatest Heroes.
I haven't watched that one. I'm familiar with the one below, the '94 one. If you scroll down with the metal four,
I think that's what we were talking about.
yeah. But Eric was talking about that top one. Okay,
This one was the early 2000s
Okay.
one that I watched.
yeah, I
as
never
well.
watched that one.
Yeah, this was riding high on X-Men Evolution for sure. Yeah.
But with this one, this is directed by Matt Shakman. So Matt Shakman did WandaVision, which I think is Disney Plus's best MCU show. And there's been
Also with Loki, but
honestly, yeah, I definitely love
WandaVision
Loki.
is excellent.
Yeah. So I definitely love what he did, and it's a period piece. So they've Kevin Feige confirmed that this Fantastic Four takes place in an alternate universe. So this is not the 616. So that's why they showed the concept art showed.
Not.
Yeah, this Fantastic Four they're not from our reality.
So it's not tied to the continuity.
Well, I get at the end of the events it will be.
Maybe they should just reset the whole universe at this point, right?
Well, no, I think it's pretty simple. Like I don't know what they're gonna do, but I'm pretty sure what they're gonna do is kind of bring them
Pretty
into.
simple, Eric. You just gotta watch 20 movies.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, I think no, and you're right about that. But
I'm just kidding.
No, but I think what they were gonna do in this one is because the MCU has no Fantastic Four. I think what they're gonna try and do is to say I haven't seen it, but I think they're gonna be like, hey, they're gonna come from there to us because Galactus is in this movie, and what he does is he destroys worlds and planets and whatnot. That's what he does. So just speculation.
Is it like actual Galacticus? Is that a big gloomy
the
cloud?
from no, it's an actual
From the Jessica
Yeah,
Alba.
it's an
Although
actual
Silver
one.
Surfer in that movie slapped.
dude.
Can we
that
say
was the coolest
Yeah.
part of that movie.
Yeah.
Was
Silver
Surfer.
Surfer slapped in that Fantastic Four too.
But no,
And Jessica Alba was hot.
He had a cool show in the 90s too.
the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
he'd have a
Silver
show.
Surfer
Yeah,
show was really cool.
He'd have a show.
Honestly, just the concept visually is so
Yeah,
awesome.
It looked so cool as a kid.
Yeah, like some guy why he's on a surfurboard though. I guess
Who
that's
cares,
what I thought
bro?
was cool.
He's
It's-
just
it's
surfing
cool.
through space. It's some of those 90s things people did on LSD and nobody questioned. Do you know how much of our entertainment is due to LSD?
Dude, just Sesame Street. Sesame Street, I know for
Sesame
sure.
Street also due to LSD?
I'm pretty sure.
How
the
do you
creators-
not do LSD?
Well, the
and create
creators of
Sesame
it.
Street.
Well, it is a kid show.
Dude, I think whoever drew Ren and Stimpy, definitely whoever drew Ed and
I
Eddie,
mean,
sure.
All Cartoon
regular
Network.
show is debatably a kid show, and that was out of
Oh
LSD.
my god. That
We're
was-
calling that a kid's show.
It's
Regular
on
show?
Cartoon Network.
It's like
It's on a children's program, so yeah, I'm gonna call it a kids show.
Pre-teens.
It's
On a child's programming.
it's on level with Adventure Time.
yeah,
so
man, it's a kid show.
Kid show. Bro, come on, man.
Just because you watch it doesn't make it less
Wait,
of a
hold
kid
on,
show.
hold on. But
Sidebar
what do you
here,
call, what do
side
you call
tangent.
what's that show? I just only lost the name.
On Adult
Sesame Street.
Sesame Street.
Sesame
yeah.
Street is for like kids, like toddlers.
Yes. The target audience is toddlers. Yeah.
Yeah, like, there's a difference.
We ain't talking about toddlers, though. We're talking about kids.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
You know what?
We'll be pedantic.
I'm sorry to take it back to Fantastic Four again.
It is a kid show.
You're right. You win,
Yes.
Eric. You win.
But to take
I concede.
They started filming this week, so what they showed was a sizzle reel. It kind of felt like I was watching like Apollo 13, the movie, or First Man. It'll be a movie about the space, kind of like the space race and being excited to go to space. So I definitely got like, because I think a little bit.
You think they'll go with the space radiation story for the origins?
Oh, they have to. Matt Shackman said we aren't going to see that because they're going to do how they did Spider-Man, where they're just not going to. We won't see their origin.
I kind of get it because origin stories are played out.
Yeah. With this one, I kind of wanted to see it because the only one
you always kind of want to see it.
Yeah.
But origin movies are played out.
Yeah. No, you're right. I like the idea. So like, yeah, I definitely got that. There's a funny little scene where, because it's in the 60s, and like there was like a whole little they're on the set of the show called A Dating Game. It's like, hey, who do you pick? He's like, I picked the guy number 3, and they go to this. It's a silhouette of like Ben Grimm sitting in a chair. So you get little like hints of like the show and like kind of what they're going for. I don't know if you've seen the movie called The Right Stuff. The movie about those old guys that got they're old back then, but like again about the space race. So I'm getting major vibes from that. It looks cool. So that's the Fantastic Four. Again, not much to show. They showed Galactus at the end, and it's not a cloud; it's like an actual guy.
Does he look like a Celestial?
Yeah, he looks like a Celestial. He's gonna be played by that guy with the great voice from Game of Thrones. He was the Green Knight. What's his name?
Have y'all actually read any of these comics that have Galacticus? I know y'all are a little more nerdy on that.
Oh no,
I know what he looks like. But that's it.
Yeah,
but can we take a split second?
Yeah.
That's gotta be the stupidest design for a villain, right?
Oh yeah, like the helmet.
helmet crown.
I get it's iconic, but hey, we're gonna have this dude that eats planets, and he's gonna have this goofy ass helmet, and
Burger
this
King helmet on,
burgundy and yellow color scheme.
It's very golden age of comics. Like look.
very Jack Kirby.
It's very we did too much LSD and nobody told us.
That's what they were doing when they
nobody
drew him.
told us that this looked bad.
Dude, like Juan, like what you're describing is the whole cosmic era and Marvel. That Jack Kirby, he's a guy that also drew like the Celestials, all like the
There's a reason. Yeah. There's a reason why Marvel resisted putting actual comic accurate costumes in the movies for about 10 years.
Yeah, man, it was too much. It was.
They finally relented a little bit with WandaVision, but even then, they're like, all right, we're gonna make this leather, and we're gonna make this look cool, and we're gonna make this look like a modern reimagining of that stupid spandex.
Like in the first X-Men, like they all were in like battle suits that were like
because you know what, that looks
the
so
black
much,
Bryan Singer suits,
which I kind of dig for the time, but
you know what, it worked.
Yeah, it definitely worked for what they were doing.
In the late 90s, early 2000s vibe that movies were going for.
Right after the Matrix.
Shit worked. If Wolverine in a yellow suit had showed up in fucking 98, that would not have played.
Hugh Jackman just in like a big yellow suit.
Hugh Jackman in this goofy yellow suit.
Yeah,
they already did his hair up so that he kind of resembled the comic book version.
That was the most they would do.
That was a fair concession. He was amazing. That was a great movie. I don't know why you would complain about it, you know?
Yeah. No,
Look, they finally figured out how to do it. But there's a reason it took 20 years for us to see that.
That's true.
Yeah, for us to get used to, for audiences, general audiences that aren't nerds, to like really buy into the fact that it's what they look
even,
like. Yeah.
Like the OG Tobey Maguire spider suit. The eyes didn't move.
Man. Yeah.
There was too many lines, all this stuff.
But it's perfect.
But that's an iconic suit.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's
if they had tried to put the whole...
It's so iconic, it's in the video games.
Yeah, it's...
Like even the new video games, you can unlock it.
Yeah. It's what I think when I think of Spider-Man.
The video games are pretty iconic.
Dude, I was flying around Spider-Man 2, and I climbed up to the top of a skyscraper, and they had a huge Fantastic Four spray painted on the top of it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, man.
It's a cool tease.
It's a very cool tease.
But speaking of which, that movie Fantastic Four in the MCU comes out next year. So it's a big year.
Next year. That's a big...
It's a big year.
Are they having a movie before Doomsday?
Yes, we'll get into that. So next,
skipping ahead, Eric.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
So it's a kind
spoiler alert for the next 5 seconds.
Yeah, no, it's kind of a two-punch. So the Anthony and Joe Russo, these guys directed Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame. They're returning to the MCU.
They basically directed all the best MCU,
all the
best
better
MCU.
ones. So those guys are coming back.
To be fair, every other thing they've directed outside of the MCU lately has sucked.
Yeah, it's really, to me, them coming back really does feel like Jordan when he left it. 23 Jordan.
Yeah.
23 Jordan came off.
He's done with basketball.
Of a 3-peat.
Or with baseball,
yeah,
sorry.
He went to go play baseball. Not so good. They had Gray Man. They had Cherry with Tom Holland. No one really responded to that. but I see this as their 4-5. They're about to come back and do not only Doomsday, but also Secret Wars. So in Doomsday 2026...
Is that all they're signed on to do?
Yes, these two. Doomsday 2026 and Secret Wars 2027 is what they've signed on to do. With Christopher Marcus coming back, McFeely will not return due to just illness and just personal matters. But
who was Mick?
So there was two guys that wrote Winter Soldier through Infinity War. So one of them isn't coming back, but the other one is coming back. So most of the team is back.
So the team is back.
The Russo guys, they're not. They're just focusing on those two movies.
Yeah,
they're not doing any other Marvel ones
so far. Yeah. But
they tried to expand out. It didn't take.
The Gray Man wasn't bad. Gray Man wasn't bad.
Was the one with
it had Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans in it.
Honestly,
I like that movie.
I got a lot of hate. It was a formulaic movie.
Oh yeah,
But Chris Evans played such a good villain in it.
Yeah,
Chris Evans has a lot more range than you. Not to say he was a bad Captain America. He was an amazing Captain America. But he has a lot more range than you'd expect coming off Fantastic Four and Captain America.
He was in Knives Out. That was the first big
Knives
one.
Out was probably his first villainous role. He was pretty great in that.
Big one.
But he had so much fun and absolutely knocked it out of the park in Gray Man. I just wanted to shout that movie out real quick. Not a great movie, but a fun movie and one you should watch.
But speaking of just people just playing the villain, like the biggest news of the whole evening was our boy Robert Downey Jr.
Say it.
Returning the MCU, but not as Iron Man, but as Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday coming 2026. So that was, I remember, like, I think I was we were at your house just chilling. You were there too. We did all the chilling. I remember just telling everybody, "Hey guys," it felt like we were just like, remember when like Trump almost got JFK'd and we're all like, "Oh my God, what happened?" I kind of felt like that, where I was like, "Is this real? Is it real? Oh wait, no, it's real." And like he's on stage with like it. It didn't feel real.
Were the Russos coming back to Marvel feels a little bit like Jordan coming back to the Bulls.
They're in the 4-5 jersey now.
This really feels more like when you sign a guy who's retired to come in
to a 10-day,
like to provide some hype.
So like when Jordan came back for the Wizards.
That or
oh man, okay.
Or when they let Kobe go off for 60 on his like final game and let him shoot 50 times, some shit like that, where it's just like, you're playing the hits, you're hoping to get the nostalgia. There's no way anybody could really think, like, go out there and all the possible actors, all the possible people in Hollywood, and come to the conclusion, you know what, the best possible person to play Victor Von Doom in a way that gets our movies taken seriously is Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah,
there's just no way.
I feel like it was a very big hype move, very big hype grab, because like I think I was telling this to one of you, but debatably the coolest part about Doom for me is his mask. It's the most iconic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
the mask
and the hood.
I know, yes.
The hood plays a big part.
I know that. So here's what I know. I know that they're paying him $80 million for 2 movies.
$80 million in a private jet.
So they're not going to want to cover up an $80 million face for too long. Like, is he going to be in the Doom mask? Yes. Is he going to be in it for long? Maybe not. Maybe not. I
think he's going to be in one situation where we'll see him for the first 2/3, and then when he gets into this real plan.
But also, I don't even think it's going to be classic Doom mask. I just think it's going to be an Iron Man mask in a Doom hood.
Ooh, that's a possibility. Yes,
here's my only thing. Robert Downey Jr., I feel like has... I'm trying to like just be nice and say positive things, which I don't even believe. I'm just trying to be nice. But Robert Downey Jr. has enough cachet, he secured his legacy enough with the recent Oscar, with his recent roles, everything, where he's a guy that probably would be fine being behind the mask for 2 whole movies. Yeah, he's not some guy. Yeah. He's not some guy that's like, wait, y'all, they need to see my face.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying that for him. I'm saying for the people who spent the money on him. They're gonna want their audience to see
But the
Downey.
audience will be there anyway.
They're
The
going
audience
to
is
have
there.
at least one scene, obviously, without the mask.
Because I bet you
It'd be impossible to not have any scenes without
in
the
the
mask.
trailer.
I'm not saying any
In the
scenes.
trailers, you'll see his face. You'll know he's.
But
bad.
I am
Still
I
know.
am going to go out on a limb and say he's going to
Look.
be not in the mask more than in the
I'm
mask.
And that's
playing,
fine.
I'm
That's
playing
fine.
devil's advocate against myself. I could see them putting a big portion of the movie. Frankly, I feel like that's a. I don't know. I know these are superhero movies, right? But we're adults, right? We should try to discuss this intelligently. Like, yes, the mask being on is important and all. The mask being on is important and all. But what's important is the movie going to be well written. Is the
Yes.
villain going to be, somebody you
Exactly.
you like, you love to hate,
Exactly.
somebody who's engaging, somebody who's riveting. Is the threats going to be the threat going to be real? Is it going to be able to live up to the Thanos hype and what was once the Kang hype? That's the real question.
And this team though has never missed. It's like Jordan. It's like he's gonna come. I'm hoping they come back for a three-peat
The
again.
team has, and frankly, RDJ has not. Robert Downey Jr. has not. I hate that I said that.
I'm sorry, it's not what.
Has not missed.
Yeah, he's not missed.
Has not
Yeah.
missed lately.
And
even
also
Sherlock, even though Sherlock movies.
That's also the thing too. Is like chances are, he is a great actor. He just won an Oscar. Chances are he's probably going to do really well or kill this role.
He'll convince us. I think he'll convince us he's not Tony Stark.
That's going to set a different standard. Like I kind of see him doing this as what Heath Ledger did to Joker. It's just going to kind of set that standard for Doom now.
Okay, yeah,
To where like
yeah. I also
I
know
mean, if we're talking about live
yeah.
action, it's not hard to set
Yeah.
a standard.
Not hard. Like no offense to Nip Tuck.
But they have kind of been hiring no names before him.
Yeah.
And
You know
people-
what? The Nip Tuck guy did a surprisingly
great
good
job.
job
Toby
with what he was
Kebbell-
given.
It was
Toby
just a bad movie.
Toby
But
Kebbell was
it wasn't even
fantastic.
that bad a movie. Am I crazy?
I thought it was kind of a bad movie.
His portrayal was great.
Is that going to have to be our guilty pleasure movie?
Mike
It
Trust-
might, man.
I think his portrayal as Doom in 2005 was great. I liked it. But no, I see what you mean. Like RDJ is the biggest name to play this character. I don't think he's even going to be the Doom that we'll see moving forward. But I think they need a Doom right now to complete the story and to pick the hero of all the phases, the face of it's like some wrestling. It's like some wrestling stuff. Like it's a bold move. It'll get butts and seats. We're already
it'll
talking
get
about
butts
it.
and absolutely.
This
get
movie
butts
don't come
and
out for
seats.
another 2 years. We're already talking about it. People will go see this, and I think this.
Like 9 times.
Yeah, I don't like it.
You know
but
what?
I respect the hustle.
I hate that I'm sitting here and I was like playing devil's advocate. And this is why you don't play devil's advocate, folks. Now I'm sitting here like
Don't
low
advocate with
key,
the devil.
low key getting excited about seeing Robert Downey Jr. in the MCU again.
I think it's a dumb idea, but I'm going to go see it.
I honestly think it's a horrifically stupid idea. And it's almost
Yeah,
an insulting idea.
I think it's pretty
I
dumb.
honestly think it insults our intelligence a little bit.
Well, it
but
makes-
I can honestly say right here in this conversation, trying to play the other side and stuff, I've gotten myself hyped up to see Robert Downey Jr. in an MCU movie again.
Some people.
I wish I wasn't. I wish I had that self control to be like, no, this is bad. I'm being pandered to. I'm not gonna pay attention to this. But I'm at the point where like I'm kind of excited to go.
Some
watch
people
this
are
now.
saying that
I hate myself.
it makes that Tony Stark death scene worthless now.
I disagree.
No,
just
hey.
all the way because it's.
I
a
don't
different
know if
character
that
now.
does. But it is a cheap stunt. But again, it's a cheap stunt that suddenly has my curiosity.
It depends on how they execute it. I'm willing to let more.
Yes, it does.
I'm
It does.
honestly
I'll
kind
let
of
'em
upset at
cook.
myself. That's always the key, right? It depends how they execute it.
Yeah.
Listen,
Writing,
they
again,
had
like you
a
said.
lot of cool ideas in Phase 4, and almost none of them worked. Right?
What was Phase 4 again?
This last one.
I got you. Okay, okay.
I
Post-ending.
thought She-Hulk was gonna smash it out of the park.
That's right. That was a thing.
A procedural comedy lawyer show set with superheroes. I thought that was going to be the funniest damn thing. If you ever watch Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law,
Right?
Ally McBeal.
Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, that's what the show should have been. A funny version of Suits with superheroes. That's what the show needed to be. Or a Scrubs with superheroes. And that it wasn't. It had barely any lawyering.
It was
and what lawyering was there was terrible.
It was an unfunny comedy, which is like a big no if you're a comedy. At least be
you
funny.
would think. You know,
I don't mind it, yeah, but I don't hate it as much. But definitely was disappointing in that. But
It wasn't horrific. It just
Yeah.
wasn't good.
yeah, so I think now to see Marvel kind of pivoting, now they're kind of rolling it back. They're now kind of saying, "Hey, we're not going to show you like whole slates. We're going to just give y'all what we know, what we're making, what we know is good." So I enjoyed that. So moving forward with this, the whole Robert Downey Jr. situation, even though I don't like it, I'll just let him cook on this. Because the Russos haven't really let me down yet. But yeah, I think definitely we'll be talking about this for the next 2 years.
I feel like it would be cool because obviously this is a multiverse theory thing going with this movie, right?
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool if Pedro Pascal, Mr. Fantastic, met John Krasinski, Mr. Fantastic.
Oh.
That would be kind of cool.
That would be kind of fun.
That'd be like a fun little scene.
Honestly, John.
I'd enjoy that.
I don't know. I still don't get why they didn't just give the role to
He
John
looks
Krasinski.
like Reed Richards.
He looks like.
but I
Mr.
also love
Fantastic.
Pedro Pascal, so I don't
Pedro,
care.
yeah. Again, with this
Honestly,
whole,
don't care.
with these things, I'm willing to let the
Look past it.
Is Vanessa
well,
Kirby?
She's Sue Storm. Yeah, she's Sue Storm. And
I almost said Miss
the kid
Incredible.
from Stranger Things is
yeah, I keep
Joseph
Quinn and Evan Moss
Eddie?
Baccarat.
Eddie Van Halen?
Yeah, Eddie Munson.
who is the guy who plays Ben Grimm?
So Evan Moss Baccarat. Remember The Bear? He's a brother in The Bear.
I don't.
Oh, The Bear's a great
I never
show.
saw it.
I gotta watch
Hulu,
that show.
right?
Yeah, it's a great
like
show.
a kitchen show.
Yeah. He's the brother of the main character in The
Gotcha.
The
Bear.
guy from
Gotcha.
Andor.
Andor. Was he in Andor?
The terrorist, not terrorist. The
Was that
the
Moss
rebel guy.
Baccarat? I know he was a Daredevil. He was not Circuit. The first of the Charlie Cox Daredevil. He was a sidekick guy. He was this guy in the chair.
Froggy?
Not
No.
not Frog. Nah.
Guy in the chair.
Right?
I think it was-
Daredevil didn't have.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. It was Micro, that guy that he talked to. That'll get him like information. Daredevil in the Netflix Daredevil show.
We'll just have to move.
Maybe
on.
I just don't remember that
Yeah,
show.
yeah, I
I
guess you don't-
rewatched it recently.
I guess
so
you don't
you'd
remember him,
think
but he was up in that. It's one of those like, oh, he was in MCU earlier, now he's back again. It's one of those things.
Did you ever watch The Terrible Decisions of Danny Rand?
Oh no! Oh, I mean, talking about Iron Fist. Yeah, actually,
That show is so
It was so bad.
It was
first,
such a bad-
Let's not even
first
get into it,
season,
but it's so
yeah,
bad.
the first season, yeah, you don't have
Season
to
2 was not much better.
I haven't seen season 2, but I remember the
Season
first
2 was
season
better, but not much.
Because that was like a whole. They were going to build all off of those shows, right?
Yeah,
They did.
Punisher,
yeah.
Cage.
They did, but
They
then
did.
the Defenders was terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Oh, they actually had a movie?
Yeah,
No, they had a TV show with
it's
okay. With all of them.
event
the
movie.
Avengers type
Gotcha.
TV show event with Sojourner Weaver as the main bad guy.
right, that
And they wasted Sojourner Weaver.
It came and went.
You know how hard it is to waste Sojourner Weaver?
You gotta try.
Yeah,
to
you
waste
really
time.
gotta
You
try
have
that.
to like go out of your way to make her bored.
You gotta actively work to.
She played a
Misuse her.
competent 16-year-old girl as an 80-year-old woman.
yes,
too long
and we were
ago.
convinced.
What was
As
her?
an alien.
Who was her?
in Way of the
character?
Water, that was her,
Avatar, Way of the Water, she was a 16-year-old girl.
and we believed it.
Oh man, you're right.
Yeah,
She played a blue alien 16-year-old girl
and we believe.
who was Sojourner Weaver.
Who was her character in Defenders?
She was the
She
bad
was the
guy.
main bad guy,
Oh,
the
okay.
main person of the main leader of the Hand.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know that.
It doesn't
cares?
matter. It was bad.
Doesn't matter.
It was
Yeah.
bad.
But looking forward with Marvel, like we're getting all this new stuff we're getting. So to know what we're working towards Doomsday, that will lead into Secret Wars with Robert Downey Jr. doing Doctor Doom stuff. It's crazy. It melts the mind. I don't like it, but again, I have no reason to doubt the Russos on this.
So this Secret Wars movie, is this picking up from that Sam Jack show?
No, not
At
the
this
Secret
point-
Invasion. No,
at
no,
this
Oh,
point-
okay. Secret
No.
Invasion has
I
nothing to
think-
do with it.
no.
Marvel is trying to play coy with it and trying to play dumb with it. But I think they're low-key just going to act like they scrapped Phase 4.
Yeah, which is it's a right call.
I think
the
they're
right
gonna
call.
have they're gonna make that Agatha show. They're already making obviously this Captain America that's hard to get rid of. But some of the characters will show up. The Thunderbolts, you're gonna see Yelena, you're gonna see some of the popular characters. But stuff that didn't work,
We'll
and
sit
I don't
down.
think we're gonna see the Eternals cast again.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see Jon
think we-
Snow.
I think we will because of Secret Wars and Doomsday, because of the roster. We won't see an Eternals
Here's the
movie,
thing,
but
man.
we'll see them in other
They-
movies, like Doctor Strange.
I'll
is being
admit there's a
used.
chance they at least pop up kind of like Endgame style, where they just showed every hero just because. But the idea that we're gonna have an Eternals 2 and have them be a major part of the story,
Yeah, of course not. No, we're gonna have
Seems
them.
far-fetched.
Yeah, they're not doing that.
I could
Yeah, yeah.
see an Avengers movie where they're like, "Oh, here's the Eternals popping up."
Yeah.
But the idea that they're gonna be any kind of relevant characters, or that they're gonna build on some of these, if y'all remember when this is a while ago when Multiverse of Madness came out, Doctor Strange.
That was a
in
good
the movie. Charlize Theron is in the MCU now. Same with
Yeah, she's here.
oh, who's the dude from Ted Lasso? Roy Kent.
Yeah, he's Hercules.
Roy Kent is Hercules in this.
We haven't seen him in 2 years.
With Russell Crowe being
Zeus.
They have all these little side characters they've started putting in, and I guarantee you, a good chunk of them, they're just gonna be like, "Whoops, forgot what happened to them. Please don't remind us."
He's just gone now. No.
Who was writing King Dynasty?
Well, it's not happening anymore.
Oh, so they didn't already have a
They
script.
scrapped.
They had a script, but they just got rid of it.
Do you know who did the Russo brothers write
no,
it?
it was not Michael Waldron. It was the guy. I'm sorry. So the guy that wrote Quantumania was going to write King Dynasty.
Do you think it would have been good?
Probably not.
Based on Quantumania, probably not.
No.
Quantumania was an extremely disappointing movie.
Yeah.
Because it should have been a 10 out of 10 movie. There was no reason.
It had all the ingredients.
It
all
had
the
everything
ingredients.
you needed to be a 10 out of 10, and it
Do
wasn't.
you think Doomsday is going to be a better movie than King Dynasty would have
Yes.
Hopefully.
been? I'm okay with
Just
that.
because of who's
Hopefully.
behind it.
I'm okay with that.
You know what? I'm not as definitively optimistic, but I don't know.
Well,
They were I was pretty much out of Marvel even as of like a week ago, and somehow they're starting to pull me back.
but
in.
would you doubt 90s Jordan taking the final shot? That's what the Russos are to me
We're
right now.
assuming it's 90s Jordan and not Wizards Jordan.
But just all we're going by is just actual evidence, and what they showed us is a three-peat. So it's
They
like
showed the three-peat, but which three-peat was it? It's not like that was their first movie ever, right? I'm just saying.
okay, I see what you mean.
I see where you're coming from, and I see the reasons for optimism. Right, I actually do. I'm not trying to be like a
Yeah.
shameless hater.
Yeah.
But I'm also not willing to let Disney off the hook for how much they fucked up.
You're-
There's certain organizational rot. As somebody who's been part of a certain organization, listen. Yes, the CEO doesn't decide everything. The up top people don't decide everything, but they have a big influence. At this point, I think it's fair to doubt Kevin Feige. It's fair to doubt his direction and his ideas of where the franchise is going. Yes, obviously, he has the history. He made Marvel what it was, but Phase 4 was a disaster.
What was the last movie Marvel had before Disney acquired them?
Avengers, right?
sorry,
I guess Iron.
Like before Disney
Thor.
bought Marvel,
Oh,
what,
so
what
that-
was their
that-
last
they had,
movie
like,
as
I
Marvel?
think it was Thor.
2013, Thor: The Dark World would have been the last one before.
I thought they bought when Avengers came out.
That was still a Paramount release.
Okay.
So, do you think if Disney never bought them, we would have had as good a quality of Endgame ending?
No,
Oh,
no, because
Here's the thing.
I don't think so.
Phase 1 was good for the time. Back when Phase 1 came out, superhero movies were in a serious decline.
Well, there was no standard, yeah. Really?
It was a combination of Dark Knight and Iron Man that really brought superhero movies back to the forefront. Right, little history lesson. Superhero movies were mostly, formulaic garbage.
Batman Forever, very novelty comic.
Daredevil.
Yeah.
Daredevil, even random stuff. Green Hornet and like Green
Seth
Lantern.
Rogen movie.
But
Man.
but no, I think you're definitely forgetting a large chunk. During that time, we had the first two X-Men. We had Spider-Man 1 and 2. We had
But
highlights.
those were early 2000s.
They were definitely early.
Yeah. We had a good 4 or
Yeah.
5 year gap where there was just
Yeah, before 08.
creatively
Yeah,
bankrupt.
there's like I'm
we're
gonna
talking
say
about
3 years.
X3, we're talking about Elektra, we're talking about Green Lantern.
Yeah, from 2005 to 2007, it was
that
pretty
weird
bad.
Superman movie.
Superman
I can't
Returns.
even remember
Superman Returns.
who the main Superman guy was.
It was
The
Brandon
one guy
Routh.
that no one knows, yeah.
Brandon Routh. He's awesome though.
Yeah.
Love Brandon Routh.
They had a good Lex Luthor. Who was the Lex Luthor?
It was Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, he was
Kevin
great.
Spacey, yeah. That was the best part of that movie.
Cal Penn's in that movie randomly.
Yeah, no, they were very formulaic. It was not must see at all. And then Iron Man kind of, Dark Knight as well. Dark Knight was a better made movie, but
1-2 punch that year.
but Iron Man kind of showed what was possible from a fun perspective.
Yeah.
Right, like he could be clever and entertaining and make people laugh.
Faithful to the comic book, like really have an Iron Man suit, all that stuff.
Exactly.
But once you take away some of the nostalgia, if you go back and watch those movies today, they're not great movies.
Yeah.
Right? They're just formulaic origins movies.
I'd
They reset the standard but then they became the standard, and now, like, it's hard to release a movie like that without.
I'd push back. I think rewatching Iron Man '08 today, it holds up. Watching it Spider-Man 2002 holds up today. I think
The Raimi Spider-Mans are timeless.
the bad ones though don't hold up. Like Iron Man 2
Thor
doesn't hold up.
1, it's solid, but it's not the kind of thing where it's riveting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
agree on that.
Right,
I could agree on
even
that.
the first Captain America, again,
that one.
it's not a bad movie. It's just not a thing where you go out of your way to watch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than for like nostalgic reasons,
Yeah.
why are you
like,
watching?
you're just gonna
Yeah.
go back and rewatch all the Avenger.
Yeah.
But then you go back to the Disney, especially Phase 3. It might have spoiled us, but those were rock solid classics.
It was a golden age.
One after another.
Golden age.
We were even like the minor ones, right? It was stuff like Guardians. You remember when Guardians came out? We watched that like 2 times together, 3 times together in the
Man,
theaters.
yeah, that was great.
I expected that to be a stupid movie.
I had never seen a superhero movie like that in my life.
Yeah, me
I
neither. It was
expected
very
that
In
to
new.
be-
my life.
Yeah.
New
I had-
template,
Yeah.
fresh.
I had
Very
no
new.
idea who those were. I had already fallen out of favor. I did not watch Thor 2 in theaters. I actually missed out on Winter Soldier in theaters because I assumed
I saw that in
You know what?
theaters.
That's-
Iron Man 2 had been pretty decent, but Iron Man 3 was bad.
That's very true because up until that point, people have either made only superheroes that DC fans know and only superheroes that Marvel fans know.
is the
But
first one it
Guardians
was.
was the first one where nobody knew.
Only
who
the comic book
fuck
guy that
these people were.
sold you your comics knew that guy.
Dude,
Knew them, and that's it.
Drew only knew Rocket and Groot because he bought Bazooka bubblegum back in the day, and they had little Rocket Groot comic strips on the wrapper.
What the hell?
And he's like, I didn't know who that was until years later.
It's
but
such minor characters.
Yeah.
They were not like
it's
heavy.
a raccoon in a tree. The fuck? Like,
And then they came out and made an absolutely unbelievable
Yeah, we
movie.
fell in love instantly with that.
that's
It was-
I
it
mean
was great.
that's all due to James Gunn though.
Yeah.
He took something that nobody even
But it
cared
wasn't
about.
just James Gunn because we started getting these Civil War movies. Those Ant-Man movies, the first 2,
They were great.
well, I wouldn't say they're incredible.
Were
but
those James
they're-
Gunn movies?
No, there were. It
okay.
was Peyton
No.
Reed.
But
Okay.
they were very excellent. Mike Pena, what's his name? What was
Michael
his first-
Pena.
Michael Pena.
Yeah.
He was hilarious.
Yeah,
in this. I
Luis.
can't believe they didn't have him in the third movie. Same with the guy who did a Late Night with the Devil.
And David Dismalchin. He was
Yeah,
in there
David
a bit-
Dismalchin.
David
bit
Dalmatian.
part.
Dalmatian.
Yeah, bit part in there.
He was amazing in that Baba Yaga.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a great lineup of movies, and then they've fallen off. They've fallen off. We're hoping they can come back.
A comeback. Everyone loves a comeback story, though. So,
Yeah.
every one of us likes to see people come back and dust themselves off, rise up. I see Marvel trying to do that. It won't be overnight. It'll take a couple years for them to win people over, but it'll take just.
I
They're definitely
want
pandering a little bit.
I want this
Are you-
to be good and awesome, but I think it's stupid.
Robert Downey Jr. coming back is definitely pandering a little bit.
I guess it is, but it's like Marvel's damned if they do it.
But
damned
you
if
know
they
what?
don't, I think.
I've gotten excited for it. So I guess
get-
the suckers are pandering too.
I guess that's why it works sometimes. But I think they're pandering. But I think they're doing it because they know they got something good. Is what I'm.
You know
I'm
what?
thinking.
I will say, Robert Downey Jr. is going to kill the role. Whatever you else want to say, Robert Downey Jr. is going to do an incredible job.
I want to know how much they're paying the Russo brothers.
Probably
That's-
at least $20 million each.
Yeah,
That's-
they're definitely getting. They're definitely getting paid.
But you know what? Whatever else you can say is pandering everything. Robert Downey Jr. is going to kill that.
It's going to
role.
be fun. It's going to be good to watch. I'm going to see it at least 3 times.
All of us will. Yeah.
I love Doom. I love Robert Downey Jr. I would like to see more good Marvel movies. Like, I don't want this to be bad.
Yeah, no
I
one
don't
does.
want this to be
Nobody
bad.
does, and I think Marvel doesn't either. That's why they got the people that they have behind the scenes to do this. So let's see. We got 2 years. And
Yeah.
We'll talk about it until then.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So that's enough talk for the Comic-Con section of the day. So real quick, we're going to go into our guilty pleasures. What do we call it? A dirty little cinema.
Dirty Little Cinema.
Once again, not
Thanks
porn.
to Eric. That's a great name.
It is
right
not
there.
name of a porn scene or establishment.
But yeah, once again, it's a segment where we talk about the movies that we love, but we know that the world hates. So we're just gonna kind of do a little rapid fire, gonna go around the room. So I'll begin. So hello guys.
You know what, Kosi? Let's kick it off just so let's hear your movie. Next time we'll do another one. Maybe we'll do a guest. But let's hear your guilty pleasure, and we'll see We'll see how much we need to shit on you for it.
All right. So going
What
into
you think,
my,
Gary? We need to shit on it, Cozy.
so going into mine, so my guilty movie, cinema secret of today is Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
That's why you can't trust Cozy's opinions. You know?
Yeah. So just like Butters, I also love that movie. I thought it was pretty good. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
They're raping us.
No,
Oh no, guys, I'm fake.
I do understand though. If that movie was called like John Senior and the and the MacGuffin of Light, it'll be great. But it's an Indiana Jones movie, so it's not traditionally what you would think of an Indiana Jones movie. A lot of risks that were taken, but I enjoyed it. I was like in 10th grade when I saw it.
How was Shia LaBeouf?
Shia LaBeouf, swinging on branches with monkeys with greaser hairstyles as him is a sight to behold. Some wonky CG. Freaking that really hot lady. She's Eowyn, not Erwin.
Just some random hot lady.
She's in Lord of the Rings. Galadriel. I'm forgetting her name.
Oh, Galadriel.
Not
Kate Blanchett. No.
Kate Blanchett. She plays a Russian villain. It has a lot of elements like in it, and like Harrison Ford in '08 was getting too old for this shit back in '08, 15 years ago. And I just liked it because of it was fun. It was weird. That the crystal skull alien thing was a big deal back then, still is. Kind of a crazy idea to have. Like usually he's fought Nazis, evil Indian people, and Nazis again. And like we've been on a really cool trajectory, and now this is the first one where he's fought aliens, and it got weird. At the end we see an actual flying saucer that jets away into the sky and Crystal Skull, and I'll never forget that. I thought that was weird, but
Was it weirder than Dial of Destiny?
yeah.
Yeah.
Kelsey, you're not doing a great job of selling this movie.
Well, no, it's
Indiana Jones though.
But no, I'm saying this. I'm saying all this to say, even despite all that, I still enjoyed it, and I can also see why people hate that for all the reasons
All right, for the people that didn't get the earlier reference, South Park's review of this movie was to have Steven Spielberg and George Lucas rape not figuratively, physically, literally rape Indiana Jones in every one of the scenes from this movie. That's
all the movie was in the South Park universe.
That was the entire premise of the entire South Park episode was the kids crying and going to the police and trying to get action taken because they were seeing their friend Indiana Jones get raped violently on screen.
George Lucas and Steven
Spielberg.
Spielberg.
George Lucas and Steven
But
Spielberg.
Butters kind of liked it.
Yes.
Butters kind of liked the movie.
Look,
That tells you a lot about Cose's opinion on this movie.
I don't have as strong opinions as Matt Parker and Trey Stone do. They definitely have stronger opinions about it. I definitely see the flaws in it, but again, they didn't bother me to the point of making a whole episode out of it, which was a hilarious episode, by the way. It's a great episode.
It's a very funny episode.
But yeah, it's not my favorite of the Indiana Jones. I definitely put it kind of.
You know what? This is fitting the label for dirty little cinema.
How so?
I mean, this is the kind of stuff you generally would not admit in
Oh, no.
decent company.
Oh no, I'm totally
admitting to like.
I'm totally fine. My viewers knowing what my crazy taste in movies. Also, there's a scene that guy gets eaten by ants, and I'm supposed to believe that ants.
That was cool.
It was cool, but it's crazy.
Like Scorpion King.
Kind of like the ants like picked him up and dragged him down to the ant hole. It's kind of a graphic way to go.
Bro, Scorpion King. You remember when Dwayne Johnson was squishing ants with his chin?
Yeah, with his chin. Yeah,
You know
no,
that shit?
God.
Was it ants or scorpions? Was it ants? I think
It was ants.
Okay,
It was like
yeah.
big fire ants.
Basically, those ones were in there. It's a crazy movie. We had a lot of.
His buddy saved them. I can't remember, like with like fire or something. That movie was funny.
I think at the time they're trying to angle Shia LaBeouf as the the new Indiana Jones was kind of weird, but they stopped that.
Like
but
the
Indiana Jones Jr.
the heir to his throne.
But yeah, that is my dirty little cinema secret there.
Oh man, are we gonna keep going with each of ours, or are we gonna?
We don't have to. I can just share that with the world, and we
Because
can.
I got one that I could talk about for a little bit, but I don't know if y'all even remember this movie.
Mine is Rush Hour 3.
Oh, I haven't even seen Rush Hour 3.
What?
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Is
want
that
to
the
watch
one
it.
where they do the blooper at the end where he's like, he's not going to be in Rush Hour 4?
No, that's Rush Hour 2.
Rush Hour
Rush
2.
Hour
is
2.
when they
Rush
tease
Hour 3 is where they're in Paris, and it has nothing to
Is
do
it the
with
one where he fights that guy's like, me, I'm you?
Yeah.
I've seen that freaking clip. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first two are so good, and Rush Hour 3
they're
is not as good as
classic.
the 2, and people just completely disregard it. But I love Jackie Chan, and I love Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan.
I love both. I like the Shanghai Noon movies as well.
Oh, those two.
Shanghai
yeah.
Noon and Night are...
Yeah.
Noon is the better movie.
Noon is the better one.
Noon is the better
Jackie
movie.
Chan and a random comedic American was a winning combo.
Man, he's getting old now, dude.
But Jackie
He's
Chan.
very old.
He's getting old now.
You know, you watched The Foreigner? Was that
Yeah,
the
Foreigner.
one?
Yeah.
Fucking Chinaman.
That was 6
Yeah.
years ago. But yeah, he was still man. So what's yours guilty?
All right,
pleasure
so my
secret?
guilty pleasure, and we're gonna throw it back a little bit, I guess.
Let's get it. Let's go back.
No, I'm not gonna say this because if I watched it now, it'd be terrible. I was gonna almost say
It's okay, man.
I was gonna say Batman and Robin because I watched that movie a lot as a kid. No, but I'm gonna say
I had the Tommy Lee Jones Two-Face.
Merlin '98 with Sam Neill.
Great pull. Not to get confused with Dragonheart, which is a different one, but
Yes,
Merlin's awesome.
I'm not even sure why that would be confused, but it actually was relevant.
I got it
Back
confused.
then, there was a lot of medieval kind of magical movies, King Arthur type movies.
And
there was
TV
even
shows.
like a serious King Arthur movie a couple years later. You remember with was it Owen Clive?
Yeah, with Clive Owen.
Clive Owen.
Clive Owen, yeah.
And
Keira Knightley's in it. Yeah.
No, but that movie is very cheesy. Is hardcore '90s cheese. If you ever watched Robin Hood, King of Tights with Kevin Costner,
Yeah.
and
Robert
Morgan
Kim-
Freeman,
Yeah, King of Thieves.
King of Thieves. That's what it was. King
You
of
were
Thieves.
thinking of Men in
Men in
Tights.
Tights,
which is another
yeah.
great movie.
Which is another really solid good
Yeah,
one.
but the title was, but no, King of Thieves is the movie
Yeah.
I'm talking about with Kevin
He had
Costner.
a horrible accent in that movie.
Yeah, they talk about Moors repeatedly instead of saying the N word.
Moi.
Moor, you Moor. Every time they want to say the N word, they just say Moor instead.
Shut up, Yellowstone.
Both those movies are actually kind of like peas in a pod as far as '90s kind of famous legends from medieval England that were really not particularly good movies. Right, I think Merlin was like a 3.5 hour movie or some shit. It
Yeah.
was like
Damn.
overly long.
Oh my god.
Good, surprising amount of good actors. Martin Short was in it. Elena Bonham Carter was played as the hot love interest somehow. Like
Okay.
she was the hot version of another girl, which was not that she's not attractive, but usually she doesn't play the
Right.
actively hot
her
girl,
type, yeah.
right? But still, it's like fun what they do with the magic. They do some weird rules with magic. They have the Lady of the Lake. They have King Arthur kind of being a little bitch. It's a weird take on it. It's a weird, very '90s cheese take on it. Kind of stuff you wouldn't see today. Like movies are more made seriously. It's like people who have actually studied the era, people who a little more clever, a little more sharp with their writing. And it's fair. Honestly, I'm glad we moved towards that direction. But every once in a while, you get that nostalgia vibe for some absolute, I don't want to say absolute garbage, but some very B-tier movie with some high actors, but not something you would go out of your way to recommend to a friend.
No, I feel you. No, that was definitely how a great way to encapsulate the '90s with
I think
that.
James Earl Jones was a big mountain, like the guy who had the sword. In
Oh,
his,
that sounds awesome.
like the sword in the stone was in some mountain guy's fist. It was
That's
weird.
dope.
It's a very weird movie.
That sounds very, that's
It's a
cool.
very weird movie.
But guys, thanks for indulging with me and my dirty little cinema secrets here, man.
Go take a shower after this.
I will, and you guys
will.
too, listeners. Take a shower after this. These aren't movies you should tell
Wash your
people.
ears out.
Yes.
Remember, guys, Cozy vouched for a movie that got Indiana Jones rated.
Yeah, guys, that's me. That's me, Kosi. I'm vouching for it. I'll watch it again, and yeah, he
Watch it by himself, probably.
yes. But again, guys, thanks so much for joining us, dude.
Wait, we gotta do a plug of the week, bro.
Oh man, we're not gonna end it right quick.
I'm not gonna end right quick.
Juan, what
First
time is
of all, I want to give a small mea culpa because we messed up our spin of the week. What do you call it? Our one shot. It's
Oh,
because
yes.
I forgot to watch Zorro. It's on me. I'll take responsibility. Our special viewers.
Yeah,
we
no.
will get it for you next week.
it? Yes, we'll have it for next time.
The early reviews are not good.
Yeah,
So-
Juan, you're in for a real treat.
Bro, Zorro is one of my favorite movies ever. So.
I love, the Marco Zorro is awesome.
And Tony Banderas is one of the best movies in my best superhero movies.
Anthony Hopkins with long hair.
Anthony Hopkins,
Hell yeah.
Anthony Hopkins
playing
killed that role.
He did kill that role.
He absolutely
guy.
sold that he was a
Yeah.
Spaniard.
Yeah.
You 100% believed it.
believed
I
it.
thought Captain Zeta-Jones was Mexican
Man,
for,
you know
20,
what?
for 20
You
years.
You know what?
She lied to me. Oh, gorgeous.
Beautiful.
You know what am I
Gorgeous.
doing? That's my plug of the week. Mask of Zorro.
Great plug. Great
Mask
plug.
of Zorro. I know we basically already gave. First of
Yeah.
all, I want to say that Catherine Zeta-Jones, that scene where they cut off her dress and her
Gorgeous.
hair
Oh, yeah.
is covering her tits. That's really what happened. It's a 90s movie. They were not very feministic back then. But that was the moment I realized I was into women. You know what I mean? That was like clear awakening. Like, oh, this is pleasurable. You know, this is a fun time.
It's a fun time. It's the swashbuckling.
Look,
it's great. I love that
it's
movie.
a good mix of like that kind of 90s era sword, medieval
Swashbuckling.
swashbuckling. with like
It's real life Puss in Boots, guys.
Yeah.
real life Puss in
Voiced
Boots.
by Puss in Boots.
I mean, Antonio Banderas is Puss in Boots. Is literally
That's what I'm
Puss in
saying.
Boots is a
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm
parody.
slow. Yeah,
Puss
yeah.
in There is a
Yeah.
parody of Zorro.
Yeah.
Is literally just Antonio Banderas replaying the role as an animated character. But first Mexican superhero movie. First of all,
He was Batman with a sword. It was awesome, man.
absolutely. If you can call Batman a superhero, you can absolutely call this
Don't-
guy a superhero.
no.
I'm not gonna dispute this.
No bullshit. I seriously, like, Zorro is not a superhero, but he's a hero of sorts, a vigilante. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's not
yeah.
super. He doesn't have
Yeah.
actual powers.
But Zorro can get
it's
busy.
a superhero movie.
Zorro
right?
gets busy.
If we can take seriously that Daredevil just being a blind guy can beat up bad guys, we can take seriously that this is also superhero content.
Also, the director of GoldenEye did the Mark of Zorro.
There was
Mark Campbell.
there was an interesting comic crossover, Jonah Hex and Zorro, that you should. That
Oh,
was
okay.
really cool. Yeah,
sounds
very very Western.
Nice. Okay, I guess my plug of the week. So I'm going to plug a podcast I've been listening to a long time. And it's called How Did This Get Made? So I love the podcast. It's hosted by Paul Scheer, June Diane Rayfield, and
Rafi, right?
and Jason Mantzoukas. They cover guilty, dirty little secret movies that we would like. But they cover them and just talk about how they got made, what they thought about it, people's reactions. It's a great show. It kind of shows me a lot of movies I haven't seen yet, and sometimes bad, sometimes like really, really bad. So yeah, it's called How Did This Get Made, and it's on Spotify. So that's my plug of the week.
Nice. Mine will be on Paramount Plus. It's called Mayor of Kingstown with Jeremy Renner. It's another Taylor Sheridan show.
That guy.
Tulsa
Taylor.
King, Yellowstone,
I thought that was pretty good.
1983. It's good. I feel like his issue is he has too many projects. And then,
okay, that makes sense.
like as soon as he stops being more hands-on and he gets other writers, is when the show starts to taper off.
Yeah.
But every like the first 2 seasons of every show he makes, because he writes the first 2 seasons, are amazing, and then they just start not being so great. So, but I mean, watch it. It's Jeremy Renner. This was the project he was doing before he almost died.
Yeah, that thing.
So this was like literally pre-broken Hawkeye.
Okay.
Very intense. He plays a power broker in a city in Michigan that has the most prisons and the most inmates, and he's keeping peace between the gangs inside and outside. Very good show. Kind of reminds me of like modern day Wire. So,
All right.
yeah.
All right. As one final shout out, shout outs to not hitting women like Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
That's a great way to not fumble your bag.
You think we have to remind our audience that, Juan?
I would
Just
hope
in
so.
case.
I would hope so.
Hey, that's a good
No,
shout
I would
out.
hope not. Actually, I
Yeah,
would
right,
hope.
right.
I would hope not. But I just want to say, because he had that one thing we didn't mention with the whole Comic Con thing was him coming out and basically crying that he wasn't being given a second chance like Robert Downey Jr.
He was heartbroken.
And it's like, you breaking a woman's finger is slightly different from Robert Downey Jr. ruining his own life with
Yeah,
drugs.
Disney had to distance themselves immediately and quickly from that. So
Maybe apologize first next time.
yeah, it just sucks. I love this work, but hey,
He's an amazing actor. It honestly is a bummer. But you know what? I feel like we should try to take a stand on that, right? It's not that hard not to hit women.
Oh yeah.
I
no,
don't know about y'all. As an adult male, I have never had an occurrence where, like, man, I really gotta break this woman's finger. That's not something that's happened to
I
me
don't
in
think
my
it
life.
should be. It's you would hope it's not something you have to like remind people of, but no, some horrible people do it enough where you have to just simply just remind yourself that, hey, this isn't good. There's ways to go about this, and yeah, I think he definitely ruined his future over like something as simple as like a quick second decision. I understand there's heat of the moment, but man, I just wish there was just.
I guess you could say his life was ruined in a Majors way.
God, major way. You almost had it.
But his name is Jonathan Majors,
But
right?
it's funnier this way, Kosi.
Okay.
It was actually a pretty
You know
bad,
what?
It's actually
I'll
a pretty
take
bad
it.
pun.
I'll take it.
It was very
And
bad.
Thank you.
I won't defend this.
It was
Give it a
insanely
red
bad.
Red lights.
Red card. Get out.
And with that, Eric, I thank you. Thank you, brother.
Absolutely.
Fist
Thanks for having
bump.
me
Thank
on.
you. Thank you. Great having
Thanks for
y'all
having
on.
me on.
Great doing another podcast with
Yes,
y'all.
and I want to thank you guys, listeners. You can search us on Spotify under the name It Was Mooney. You can also find us on YouTube under the same name. You can find other videos. We're actually coming out with content coming up, so we're excited about that. So you can find us on YouTube and other places. But once again, I've been Kosi. I'm joined by
Eric.
And of course, Juanie B.
Until next time, guys. Peace.
Adios.